Welcome back to Phenomena. I'm Mimi Dibbs. I went to Seattle this past weekend to pick out my wedding dress. She said yes to the dress, by the way. Even though my wedding is in over a year, not until June 2026, but good to be prepared. But yeah, I found it on Pinterest, and then my best friend reverse image Google searched it, and we found that it was sold at a bridal in Seattle. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go to Seattle. It was my first time, actually. So it was really fun. But that said, it was rainy and cold. And I think I got like a little bit of an ear infection. And then also I feel like my throat is just not doing the best. So voice is a little hoarse. Not that kind of horse, Kelly. Just kidding. My friend keeps getting these like hobby horse videos. To be fair, she keeps engaging with them because she keeps sending them to John and I, my fiance. And we're like, okay, well, you're perpetuating the algorithm by sending it, by sharing it. But it's really funny. So yeah. Anyway, my voice is a little hoarse. As far as phenomena announcements, the small business that we want to call out today is actually one that this guy basically came up to us after the bar closed while we were out in Seattle, and it was actually spring forward this past weekend. So it closed at 2, but then all of a sudden it was 3. So we're like, oh, great. Okay, where did the time go? Literally. But he was like, hey, do you know how to draw a cat? And we're like, I guess, kind of. And he was like, I am putting together 1,000,000 doodles, which is wild. And oh my God, I have to tell John that it is 1,000,000 doodles, because he was like, it's 1,000. 1,000,000's ridiculous. Nobody is putting together 1,000,000 doodles. And he gave me his card, which I thought was very serendipitous, because I was like, oh my God, are you a small business? And he was like, yeah, because he's opening up an art gallery basically with all of these different doodles that people did. And I think it's a very fun concept. So on Instagram, they're at all spelled out, 1,000,000 doodles. I'll put it on the screen. But it's really cool because we drew cats. I don't know if it's always cats. It might be different stuff. Like the doodle at the front of the card that he gave me is a duck, I think, or a bird of some kind. Pigeon, maybe? But yeah, so it could be different doodles. But I feel like that's a fun concept. Go follow him. And it says on this card, thanks for doodling. Scan the code below to be notified when the gallery opens. If you know of anyone who'd like to doodle, send me an email. And you can probably find the email at 1,000,000doodles.org. It's an organization. But yeah, wanted to shout out this small business. And for this week's episode, the season finale, we are at episode 10 of season 1, which is the season finale. This is huge. We've been building up to this moment this whole time because it marks the end of the first season. And then we can go into the second season, the third season, the fourth season, and so on and so forth. So I'm super excited, obviously, as I always am. This season is being closed out by guest writer Carly. Thank you so much, Carly, for agreeing to write the script for this week's episode. Obviously reviewed by the lovely Ruben Hanohano, who is our head script master, and they read through it to make sure that I'm okay to cold read. And then also special shout out to Jodelle, who is our other amazing co-producer. Honestly, I would not have been able to make it to episode 10, end of season 1, without my 2 co-producers, Ruben and Jodelle. I love you guys so, so much. And I appreciate you so much. And yeah, I know that they always watch because I feel like it's fun for them to see how every episode, comes out, especially because they're the ones that are mainly writing every script. And then every now and then get a guest script writer, which if you're interested in guest script writing, just send an email to phenomena.cases@gmail.com and we'll let you know. We also next week have a Phenomena episode in which I will be sharing the personal Phenomena stories that you guys have. So all fun stuff. We always strive to make sure that we have an open line of communication between us and the public so that, you feel like we're friends, because we're friends, right? We're friends. We're online friends. But yeah, this week's episode was written by Carly, who also has Twitch streamed for a much longer time than I've been doing Phenomena. So she is a little bit of my inspiration. She's like a big sister, I feel like, literally someone I look up to. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude, she can do it. I can do it. But yeah, let's get into the legend of the Bell Witch. Ooh, what a way to end the season on a witchy note. Perfect. Coming from last week's Lita shout out for the small business, this is great because I figured she would also love this. This is about a witch. Alrighty. Today we're venturing into the twisted tale of an infamous Tennessee terror, the Bell Witch, who terrorized the entire Bell family. Oh, I didn't know that's why it was called the Bell Witch. It was because she terrorized the Bell family. They're enslaved workers Yikes. And their neighbors between 1817, that explains it, to 1821 in Red River, Tennessee. Well, if they had slaves, did they deserve it? I don't know, just saying. Far from just being a classic baby-stealing, potion-brewing witch of yore. Ooh, baby stealing. That's kind of like changelings. The Bell Witch was more of a combination poltergeist / vengeful spirit. Oh, okay. They called it a witch maybe because that's what they called any and all like paranormal-y things back in the 1800s probably. But yeah, I could see that. Nice. Okay. So it's almost going to be like the Amityville horror house, but in the 1800s. I don't know. Because they had a poltergeist. This entity was up in everybody's business, ruining everyone's life, and nobody was safe from the curse. Although the Bell Witch was only rumored to have caused one death, its legend was enough even to attract a curious President Andrew Jackson before he became president, who was among its many haunted targets. What? Wait, someone haunted a president? Can we call her back? Can we, does she do contract work? Is she freelance? Can we hire her to haunt a different president? Maybe one of more current, recent times? I don't know. Let's find her. All right, let's get into the lore. On their Tennessee farm, the Bell family began to experience a series of unexplained and increasingly violent paranormal events. So it's almost like the Bell ghost, the Bell Witch ghost. This first known sighting of the spirit that would later be called the Bell Witch was described as a dog-like creature. Ooh, you know what it's giving? Full Metal Alchemist. Brotherhood. Do you remember that one little girl that alchemist he was like messing around with trying to figure out how to like blend his daughter with his dog, and then he did, and then oh my god, that episode literally haunts me to this day. But dog-like, I'm just picturing that, which is it's more sad than anything. That episode literally crushed me. That and the dog episode in Futurama where Fry oh my God, I can't even think about it, where Fry gets to know the dog and then he leaves for the future, right? And the dog waits for him outside the pizza place every single day, and it shows just time going past and the dog just waiting for him day over day. Dogs, we don't deserve dogs. Anyway, I don't know how we got on this, but dog-like creature is creepy. I don't like it. I don't like when things are described as dog-like. It's either a dog or it's not. What does dog-like mean? Patriarch of the family, John Bell, encountered it and attempted to shoot it, only for the creature to vanish without a trace. Oh, well, you're going to try to shoot a poltergeist. It's going to come for you, buddy. You just literally put a target on your back. Good luck. Good luck, John. This is J-O-H-N, actually, and my fiance is J-O-N, so very different. It's like two different people. Literally. Actually, those are two different names. Did you know that? John is Jonathan, and then John with an H is its own. Yeah, anyway. In another instance, John's son, Drew Bell, witnessed a bird of extraordinary size that flew away, never to be seen again. Is it a dog or is it a bird? It's a dog, it's a bird, it's a plane. It's the Bell Witch. Meanwhile, John's daughter, Betsy, I love these names. John, Drew, and Betsy. Betsy reported seeing a mysterious girl in a green dress swinging from an oak tree branch. Was she in a swing or swinging, free, just doing pull-ups? She's just getting swole, and Betsy's oh my God, but why is she wearing a dress? Why is she getting swole? I don't know. The Bell Witch can do whatever the hell she wants, okay? Clearly, she appears as a dog and a bird, and now a woman, or a girl. A girl. Soon after, strange noises began to plague the Bell household. Unexplained knocking echoed through the halls. That one, I didn't even add that sound in. That was just me knocking. Oh my God. Foley? Are we Foley artists? We might be. The sound of phantom wings flapped near the ceiling. That one I will edit. And what seemed like vermin gnawed at the furniture. Ooh, like rats? At times, the noises escalated to what sounded like beds being suddenly and roughly pulled apart. Oh God, what is that? That's so specific. Do they know what that sound sounds like? What about the sound made them think it was beds being pulled apart? Isn't that so specific? What? Ooh, I don't like that at all. Accompanied by deafening sounds of dogs fighting as though chained together. Oh my God, that's Cerberus. That's literally Cerberus. Okay, that one is explained. But no, it's giving hell, literally. Despite the family's efforts, no physical source for these disturbances was ever found. This is literally giving Amityville. That's crazy. Then the entity began to get physical. Okay, call back to last week's episode. It would pull the sheets off the children's beds at night and would strike, pinch, and pull the hair of many family members, most specifically John and his daughter Betsy. Ooh, okay. I guess Drew was fine. He was spared, but John tried to shoot the dog-like creature. So you're already, that's karma. It's coming for you. You've been targeted. And then I don't really know what Betsy did besides like judging a girl. Maybe the girl was just like swinging and was like, why are you staring? Can I help you? Just swinging. And then she was like, nah, you know what? You're next. Yeah, TLDR, if you saw something, no, you didn't. That also reminds me of, oh my God, what are the like voices in the Appalachian Mountains, which a lot of people called Appalachian Mountains? Can't tell what it is. But yeah, apparently if you hear something in that, like whistling or something in the Appalachian Mountains, no, you didn't. That is also a phenomena that I think we might cover in season 2. This is just a plug for me to tell you to stick around for season 2. We're just going to keep getting better at this. Come on. I mean, you're on for the ride now. You're in for a wild ride, so enjoy it. The witch even climbed into the bed of a family friend, William Porter. Oh, what? Where he was reportedly able to grab a hold of it to throw it into the fire before its massive weight and terrible odor were too much for him to bear. First of all, this is just a guess. This is a family friend. Well, I guess it doesn't really say guess. Maybe he was like staying with them or something, but to crawl into bed? What? Was she trying to get freaky? The Bell Witch was just lonely. And she was like, William. And William's like, no, I shan't lay in bed with a witch. And then they had the Salem witch trials. Just kidding. The witch's cruelty extended to the Bell family's enslaved people as well. No. See, this is where I'm like, ooh, John, do you kind of deserve it? John with an H. John Bell, specifically because you own slaves. That's not cool, man. And you should have the morality to know that that's not cool, man. You shouldn't have a law needing to tell you to not own people. Maybe. The witch would torment them, berate them, and refuse to allow them into the house. This is like exponentially sadder that it's happening to people who are there. I hate that. Why does my light keep doing that? I'm not touching it. This is, I swear it's because I'm messing with weird entities, but whatever. We shall carry on. There's fortitude in numbers. But yeah, these people did not deserve it. The most tormented of them, a man named Dean, claimed the witch would appear to him in the form of a black dog, sometimes with 2 heads or no head at all. Both equally as terrifying, but never its true form. 3 heads. Just kidding, I added that in because it's Cerberus in my mind. Dean even claimed to have been turned into a mule by the witch. How did he claim it? Did he turn into a mule and then turn back? Or was he a mule and he was like, ah? And they were like, oh, that must be Dean. He used to make the same noise as a person. No, I'm sorry, Dean. Dean was there against his will. So we need to be nice to Dean. The abuse became so terrible, Dean carried with him a witch ball made for him by his wife to ward off the influence of the entity. Ooh, did it work? Eventually, the witch began to speak directly to the family, claiming to be a spirit from everywhere. Heaven, hell. Ooh, I said hell. Heaven, hell, the earth. Am I in the air? The houses. She doing like this is like spoken word poetry. I'm in the air. The houses, any place, at any time, have been created millions of years. Spooky. She's also very ominous with the way she speaks. Ooh, the entity would torment John and Betsy Bell relentlessly, even being the cause of a failed marriage proposal between Betsy and her childhood sweetheart, Joshua Gardner. Sorry, Betsy. Also, I'm still so shocked why Drew isn't being haunted. What about Drew made it so that he got away with he just like wasn't the target of this? This is so weird. It's a family with multiple people, but 2 of them were specifically targeted. What did they do? Not everyone. Okay, perfect. The next paragraph reads, not everyone in the family was harassed in the same way. However, the spirit was always kind to John's wife, Lucy. It once said she was the most, how was it speaking? It's slam poetry, obviously. It once said she was the most perfect woman to walk the earth and would bring her fresh fruit and sing hymns to her. Ooh, aw, I kind of love that. Okay, the witch is courting Lucy. Oh, it's kind of sweet, isn't it? No, let's not romanticize her. Maybe she just wants to be loved. Anyway, Spirit also had respect for John Bell Jr. and did not harass him like it did the others. Okay, so this family had Lucy, the mom, Betsy, the daughter, John Sr., the dad, and then John Jr., and Drew, which is another kid that was mentioned briefly. And the witch even went after the family friend, but not the mom or the wife, Lucy. She's more than just a mom and a wife, okay? She's an entrepreneur. So anyway, Lucy, John Bell Jr., the son, and Drew, they were spared. That's so weird. I wonder if that definitely drove a rift within the family, because I could definitely see why. I could see the people who were tormented being like, no, I swear she's coming after me. And the people that weren't tormented being like, well, I don't know. But then Lucy did have nice things happen to her. So she was like, she's not all bad. And John Sr.'s like, there's blood in my bathwater. It's all blood now instead of water. No, that's Jesus. Wait, did he turn blood to wine or I don't know. Jesus was on some freaky stuff. At one point, the legend of the Bell Witch became so popular, even Andrew Jackson, Andrew Jackson, the president, before he became the president, right, who owned property near the Bell Farm in Red River, decided to investigate. Okay, so he inserted himself into the investigation. He chose to get involved. Interesting. On his way to the property, he's like, I'm going to be president one day. I'm going to double as a witch hunter for the time being. On his way to the property, one of Jackson's wagons became stuck by an unseen force that refused to budge. Jackson said, by the eternal boys, let's bring that back. By the eternal boys, I'm hungry. By the eternal boys, this is the witch. And the witch replied, all right, General. I can't believe I haven't given the witch a voice yet. I'm so sorry. My voice is obviously not as great as it could be, but, maybe it's good for this episode. And the witch replied, all right, General, let the wagon move on, and I will see you again tonight. And the wagon started forward on its own. Ooh, okay. So this is kind of her way of texting. She'll stop the wagon and be like, wait, I need to talk to you later. Okay? All right. TTYL, LOL. Also, okay, the whole wagon thing, that reminds me of Nosferatu, which we talked about in a couple episodes ago when I first went to go see it in theaters. It's a great movie. Highly recommend it. But didn't the guy take a wagon to Orlok's house, but it took him forever to get there? It took him 6 weeks. No, thank you. No wonder people didn't know about anything. It would take 6 weeks to get anywhere. Literally, that was remotely different from where you were from. So anyway, it seemed one of the central goals of the witch was to see John Bell dead. She really has it out for him. Maybe, what if it was her dog? What if it was her ghost dog and John Bell tried to shoot it and she was like, you ain't messing with my dog. Absolutely not. You just got on my shit list. Count your days because they're numbered, baby. It was relentless with curses, threats, and physical torments for him. In 1820, he became bedridden, being cared for by his son, John Jr. Aw, that's nice of him. See, we gotta be nicer to our parents who are chosen by the Bell Witch to torment and target for their entire lives. On December 19th, 1820, John Jr. went to the cupboard to get his father's medicine vials, but only one, filled with the black, smoky liquid. Why? The voice of the witch proclaimed, it's useless for you to try and relieve old Jack. Oh, has Jack been a nickname for John for ever? That's so weird. I never understood that. Anyway. It's useless for you to try and relieve Jack. I've got him this time. He will never get up from that bed again. That's how she sounds. I think I nailed it. Hire me to voice the Bell Witch for the new animation project. The Bell Witch for kids. And he never did. She's nothing if not true to her word, okay? John Bell died on December 20th, 1820, and the witch hated him so much, it even reportedly crashed his funeral by disrupting the service and singing drinking songs. What? Why do I kind of love that a little bit? I mean, maybe John Bell didn't do anything wrong, but she's tormenting him in the most troll way possible. She is trolling him hard. Once John Bell died, the witch promised the family it would leave them alone for 7 years. Only, true to its word, in February 1828, it appeared again in much the same way, shaking beds and making strange noises before disappearing again for good. Whoa. So she was like, all right, the guy that I hated most is gone, so I'll definitely leave you guys. Betsy, you're on my shit list, but I guess I'll let it slide. The rest of you, you're cool. But so, yeah, she literally went and tormented this family. She specifically had it out for John Bell and Betsy for some reason, and the family friend, which she, crawled into bed with him, which is, I mean, she didn't ask for consent, so we don't stand for that. We don't like that. But come on. The Bell Witch, you gotta know where the boundaries are, all right? You can't just go into bed with a family friend who is staying with a family, and then when they refuse your advances, you get angry. What are you, a frat boy? Jesus. Boundaries. But yeah, so basically, she was after the dad, and the daughter, for some reason, loved the wife. Maybe she loved his wife and was mad because John Bell was married to her. Ooh, that's a theory. Speaking of theories, let's get into the theories. That's so interesting that once he died, though, she left. It is giving Amityville Horror, right? A little bit, because it seemed to have targeted only this family. Much about the Bell Witch remains unconfirmed, as much of the story has been passed down through folklore and oral tradition. Yeah, it happened in the 1800s. With each retelling, details may have been embellished, making it difficult to distinguish fact from fiction. This leaves us to wonder what really happened. We may never know, but it's more fun to theorize anyway. True! Here are some of the theories we found. Theory number 1, the angry neighbor theory. Some believe the spirit was a result of a feud between John Bell and a local woman named Kate Batts, who is rumored to have cursed the Bell family. What? According to this theory, Kate's vengeful spirit manifested as the Bell Witch. Wait, did she die? Her spirit? Let's assume she died, I guess. Kate's vengeful spirit manifested as the Bell Witch, tormenting the family as payback for some shady land dealings. Ooh, see? Shady land dealings are always going to come back to haunt you. Some versions claim Kate openly despised John Bell and frequently accused him of cheating her in a property dispute. When John's health began to fail, many believed Kate's curse was finally taking effect, and she even reportedly celebrated his death by declaring her victory from beyond the grave. Haha. Okay, that also, I could see that being like a story that people were like, oh, the Bell Witch is Kate, the vengeful neighbor, who apparently died. Theory number 2, the psychological theory. Some theorize that the strange occurrences were simply psychological. Classic. They just imagined the whole thing. Their theory suggests that the haunting of the Bell family could have been a result of mass hysteria or collective delusion within the small, isolated community of Red River, Tennessee. In a tight-knit group like this, rumors and fear could have easily spread, especially if people believed the family's experiences were supernatural. Interesting. Because yeah, I guess I talked about this earlier, but I wonder if everyone in the family believed it was going on. I guess 2 people were targeted, so I was about to say fully ado, but the fact that the rest of the family believed it, and like, not necessarily for reasons that they themselves were haunted, but like for Lucy, she was like being love bombed by the Bell Witch. So like she believed it, but was like, it's fine by me. I don't care. I'm getting gifts. But also then like they had like vermin in their walls and stuff and like terrible things happening. So that must have been annoying for everyone, but also something that the rest of the family and maybe the neighbors could like see and be like, what is this? So mass hysteria. That's interesting, especially if the rest of the neighborhood, I guess, believed them, which it sounds like they did because they started speculating. The pressure of living in such an environment with heightened tensions and growing fears about the Bell Witch might have led people to exaggerate their claims, even convincing themselves that they were experiencing paranormal events. I'm wondering why it was called the witch then. Is that really just what they referred all paranormal things as? Or like that was the only way they knew how to express what was happening, even though it was paranormal? Like it wasn't ghosts? I don't know. But I wonder how they decided it was a witch. Maybe it was because it was giving feminine energy. Wait, speaking of Phenomenon by Chapel Roan is the official anthem for the Phenomenal podcast because that song is a banger. I love that song. I love Chapel Roan. Actually, that's why I started doing like super fun eyeliner colors is because Chapel Roan. Over time, the fear and social pressure could have caused individuals to feel physical symptoms or act in ways that seem to confirm the haunting, even though it might have been rooted in psychological stress rather than actual supernatural forces. Interesting. Okay. So this is more the scientific theory. Women in STEM. Yeah, because again, with the whole mass hysteria theory, the more they were experiencing, the more it stressed them out, the more they hallucinated, the more the cycle perpetuated itself. So yeah, either way, it was physically rooted in psychological stress, or at least resulted in that. So that is partially true regardless. Theory number 3, the fabrication theory, also giving Amityville Horror. Ooh, this is literally like Amityville Horror. I love seeing connections and parallels between cases. I wonder if that is a phenomenon. I guess, because it's never proven. Was the Bell Witch just one big hoax? Perhaps an elaborate prank or exaggerated family drama that spiraled out of control. Some suggest the Bells themselves fabricated the haunting to gain notoriety or to cover up internal family issues. This is exactly what they speculated about the Amityville house and the family that was haunted by the poltergeist that lived there, apparently, supposedly. That they were just like making the whole thing up. But then see, I wonder, this almost like contradicts the whole mass hysteria theory. Depending on, unless you're talking about the whole family as that being the mass hysteria, it's just within the family and then the rest of the people like don't believe it. But I'm sure regardless, you're gonna have skeptics. So this makes sense that this theory exists. Much of the events seem like a person with a vendetta, and it wouldn't be ridiculous to suggest that possibly Lucy, the most perfect woman to walk the earth, could be a culprit. Ooh, she was the only one that like wasn't not only affected, but she was like praised. Interesting. As the only person who was safe from the Bell Witch, not only safe, she was regaled. She was praised. She might have had a good reason that we'll never know about. Then we don't know if it's a good reason to kill her husband and rope her family and neighbors in as collateral damage. Girl, I mean, being a wife in the 1800s, like I said, maybe she's an entrepreneur, and then John Bell took credit for all her work, as men usually do with women, and that's why history was rewritten through the lens of the patriarchy. And so now Lucy's just another housewife, when maybe she was the one keeping the family together. And this was her way of saying, hey, I've done enough for this family. Now this family needs to do stuff for me. And I wonder if John Bell did anything like shady. I mean, he was purported to have done some shady dealings. I don't know if he was the best guy ever. Not to say that he deserved to be tortured by a poltergeist. I don't know if anyone does, except for one particular president, not Andrew Jackson, although he apparently made a short debut in this as well. Others claim the locals created the legend to scare off potential settlers from claiming land in the area. Interesting. Okay, keep property value down while also making sure it doesn't get overcrowded. Okay, interesting. The first neighborhood union. Whatever the truth may be, the Bell Witch legend refuses to die. Unlike John Bell. Too soon? Nah, it was in the 1800s. We're good. To this day, visitors claim to hear whispers in the woods near the old Bell property, and some say the spirit still haunts the area. Nice, yeah. I wonder if people go to like the woods near the old Bell property to see if like they can see the Bell Witch or if the Bell Witch is still there. But it was interesting that as part of the lore, she haunted the family until John Bell died, and then she was like, all right, I'll be back in 7 years, peace. And then she came back briefly, like in the same way, like jumping on beds or whatever she did. She was just, excited about beds. She snuck into bed with a family friend. She was ripping beds apart. She has a thing for beds, clearly. But then apparently she went away for good. So I wonder, what if you like go to the woods and it's just a bunch of mattresses people have put there and like old beds to be like, ooh, hey, enticing her to come out. Don't you want to rip this old bed? Fun. Even though most of the events are relegated to memory, the folklore lives on, and many of the Bell descendants still live in Tennessee today. Oh, interesting. I wonder if they believe it. Was the Bell Witch a vengeful spirit with a flair for theatrics? An example of shared hysteria, or just the most dedicated 1800s prank ever pulled? I don't know. They had a lot of time on their hands back then, so, who's to say? We don't know, but we do know that the mystery continues to captivate imaginations and spark debate to this day. After all you've heard, are you planning a trip to Red River, Tennessee? This whole episode was just one big ad for Red River, Tennessee. That's like I think you can go see the Amityville house. But yeah, so I wonder if there's something that's set up for this as well. I would. I'd want to go. I want to see where the old Bell property is. I want to see if my mattress theory is right. Yay, that was a fun one. Yay. Yay, witchy lore. I'm glad they didn't, taunt and falsely accuse women of being witches. Instead, this was just a poltergeist that had a witchy spirit about her and also somehow communicated. And I wonder if it was just like a heard sound or like she had a voice. She said things. Anyway, that was a fun one. All right, time for this week's Poke-a-Pick and the last Poke-a-Pick of season 1. Hatterene. Ooh, I like that. Pokedex entry. If you're too loud around it, you risk being torn apart by the claws on its tentacle. This Pokemon is also known as the Forest Witch. Wait, I love that. I love that you included the Pokedex entry. That's amazing. Yes, that's perfect. Ooh, I love it. Doesn't it have like black eyes too? So it's like the perfect mix of like girly, spooky, but also creepy. Like don't mess with Hatterene, you know what I mean? Nice. I like that. Of course, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, you can always write us an email at phenomena.cases@gmail.com if you would like to be a guest writer for the show, or if you just want to say hi. You can like, subscribe, comment, engage, breathe. Thank you so much. Psycorps, I appreciate you. These are all awesome, amazing people who continuously engage on the YouTube videos, which is so nice. I love reading comments. You can engage with us in multiple ways. We always love to hear from you and hear what you thought. And this isn't just like a one-way thing. We want to hear from you. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things I look forward to throughout the week is reading people's comments and emails and stuff. So definitely before next week's episode, which is the Phenomena episode, where we talk about your personal phenomena experiences. Feel free to write in, comment, engage. Let me know if you have experienced any personal phenomena. Have you been haunted by a poltergeist? The Bell Witch, perhaps? I recently wrote into my favorite podcast called Morbid. Let me know in the comments if you listen to Morbid. I love them so much. Ash and Elena, I feel like I am friends with them, even though they don't know me. But I hope now they do, maybe, if they read my submission to them. So yeah, because I noticed that they were talking a lot about phenomena, and I was like, this is weird. This is the universe telling me to write to them, which when I say out loud like that sounds creepy. But I mean, like, it's, serendipitous. I'm like, why would they be mentioning phenomena so much if we weren't meant to interact in some capacity? So yeah. Anyway, I will let you know if Morbid ends up reading the email that I sent them in the Listener Tales episode. New episodes drop every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST. And I want to further reiterate how amazing the supporters of the podcast and the YouTube series are, because obviously we'd be nowhere without you guys. We hit over 300 subs. That's amazing in like 2.5 months since we started the podcast and the series. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And last but not least, remember, you can always explore the rabbit hole without falling all the way down. See you next week, guys. Thank you so much for an amazing season 1. See you next week for the Phenomena episode and then the start of season 2. Bye.